What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be analyzing game 1 of SpeCial versus Solar at IEM Katowice 2023 in the group stage. The reason I'm analyzing this particular game is because it actually ended up changing the whole tournament. And if things had gone just slightly different, then maybe we might have had a very different playoffs of the tournament. So very excited to show you guys some analysis of this game as we load up here into Gracevan. SpeCial, of course, Terran player from Mexico playing for Systorm Gaming. Opts to go for a pretty standard Rax into gas. Nothing too crazy. While Solar is just really going for a pool first and gas before hatchery. This is really safe for the Zerg. He's probably playing this because he was really afraid of SpeCial doing some kind of proxy racks against him. Solar, I imagine he was feeling pretty confident coming into this series, as he is probably the better player overall and one of the favorites to advance from this group. So can't really fault him too much for playing this safe. Of course, SpeCial not really opting to go for that proxy or any kind of cheese, which does end up paying quite well for him. He does opt to go for an SCV scout here, so absolutely perfect build order win for him. The only way this could have gone any better is if he went for a CC first, which is the automatic counter to pull first, but this is also really quite good. It's also the most standard build a Terran can possibly do. Reaper expand with an SCV scout. It really just, you can't go wrong with this build in TVZ, so good opener here from SpeCial. He is gonna, of course, spot the pool first. He even sees 2 lings, which is pretty nice. So he knows that there was some investment into lings off of this pool first. Sometimes they make no lings or they make 6 lings, but in this case, he does spot the 2. He doesn't know exactly how many lings there are. I mean, he spotted 2, but there might have been 4 that snuck past him. So he is gonna keep those back just in case, while Solar gets his really fast speed and removing his drones from the gas. So this is going to get him a really early speed in exchange for a slightly weaker economy, basically. While SpeCial is pretty much playing just standard. So all in all, a pretty good start for him. I will be quite happy in SpeCial shoes. Solar even investing into a couple extra links here. So good start for SpeCial. Now his follow-up, you know it's going to be interesting because he already invested into 2 gas. But you can tell that he really practiced this build because he only put 2 SCVs on each gas. So he's really opting to get that extra mineral income, which we'll see what he uses for. Link speed is finished. SpeCial recognizes this, and this is actually really good for him because he knows he can just keep all of his units in the main, keep his wall up, doesn't transfer any SCVs to the natural, so he loses absolutely nothing to Solar's build. 3cc, of course, pretty good reaction. Just focus on getting your economy up in the early game. He saves a Reaper, which is also really good as it does combo quite well with the Hellions. I think now he can probably start to get his economy going in the natural, start to get that saturation, and he even gets those extra gases. In here, he has 2 options. He can either go for Banshees with or without Cloak, or he can go for a Raven. He does opt to go for a Raven, which will help him a lot with the creep clearing, but it doesn't help him much against what Solar is doing, which is a fast Roach push. If SpeCial had gone Banshees here, he would have held this push without any losses. But, of course, he didn't know, and he does go for a Raven instead, leaving Solar with some opportunity to deal damage with these Roaches. One way that SpeCial can identify that there's a Roach push coming is maybe getting a check on the drone count at the thirds. If there are no drones at the third like this, then you can safely tell that, you know, there's something sus going on. But he didn't get far enough that he could get a check on that drone count. So far, he really has no idea what's going on. SpeCial goes for a second Raven, which is actually not bad against this. If he spots these Roaches going across the map, which apparently he's not going to, then that's actually going to make his life a lot harder. But if he has all of these Hellions at home together with 2 Ravens, he holds this with basically no losses. Of course, these turrets are going to get some damage done. 3 drones is really not that bad. But this is still super holdable for SpeCial. But he is going to have to pull back at least a Raven for the turret, which he does so. Now you may think like, okay, Hellions are just really bad versus Roaches, there's no way he holds this. But keep in mind that there's actually Lings, which the Hellions are just gonna massacre. And also the Roaches are not really in high count. So there's really a lot of Hellions here on the side of SpeCial. I really would have liked him to just start producing Banshees right now. Because even though he's gonna hold this comfortably, Banshees basically guarantee you to be invincible against Roaches in the... until any anti-air is out. The Zerg simply just cannot move across the map and kill you with Roaches as long as you have Banshees out on the map. So I really would have liked him to start those Banshees. Instead, he just lifts the starports to get those factories going on the tech labs. And I would imagine he'll probably go into Cyclones, yeah. There's also something kind of risky that he did. I guess he wasn't expecting Solar to do another committed push, as these Roaches still making Roaches, kind of pumping for a second push. Or, yeah, a second push at this point. So, SpeCial should identify this at this point, that there's way too many Roaches, there's going to be another all-in coming. And once again, I reiterate, if he had made Banshees, he automatically wins this game. Right? If there's 1 Banshee, maybe even 2 popping out right now, he just automatically holds this with minimal losses. But even still, like with this many Hellions, like I said, Roaches in low numbers really struggle versus Hellions. So right now, you can tell that it's still winnable for SpeCial, but he really risked it by not making Banshees. And maybe even trying to hold this third is super, super risky. I would have liked him to pull back to his natural, maybe hold with their SCVs, bring back the Ravens, which apparently are still harassing on the other side of the base. I really don't like this. I think he's really underestimating this push. And it's funny because it looks like he still can hold this, right? Like he's had so many opportunities to win this game, and it still looks okay for him as long as he can stabilize with these Hellions, which it looks like he will be able to. If you look at the worker count in the bottom of the screen, he's still fine. I mean, losing 30 SCVs and still being only 3 workers down is actually insane. That's how much of a lead SpeCial had in this game. At this point, Magfield is going to finish, so they're going to be quite a bit stronger. But I still would have liked him. I would have liked to see a couple of tanks at least. I mean, this Raven is getting a lot of damage done on the drones. He sees the drone count that is particularly low, but he's still just focusing on getting Hellions and Cyclones, which there's an opportunity here for him to get overwhelmed. And he's even opting to make Hellions instead of extra Cyclones. So I feel like he's really underestimating the power of the Roaches here. Okay, now he sees the drone count. This is absolutely the time for him to go back, because he identifies, okay, all-in number 3 is coming. He does identify that. He leaves the Ravens for harass, but this is a crucial mistake for him. Staying out on the map really allowed him to just kind of get destroyed by this Roach counterattack. I mean, he's completely out of position, which might cost him the game. This is underestimate number 3 that he did against these Roaches. And like I said, if he just kept making Banshees, which is actually very common with mech to do, he would have had at least 4 Banshees by now. So Solar would absolutely not be able to do anything against 4 Banshees, and now SpeCial just kind of gets overwhelmed against Roaches. That frankly should never have happened. He had the options to make tanks, which would have killed those Roaches. He had the options to just stay at home after he saw the low drone count, which would have allowed him for an easy defense. He could have even brought back the Ravens after they did all of that harass, which would help him defend as well. Or he could have made Banshees after the 2 Ravens. That would also just give him basically immunity against this frankly pretty weird build that Solar did, just a non-stop all-in that actually clutched him this game. And the reason I wanted to show this game to you guys is because if you actually look at the results of the group, SpeCial was the only player in the tournament to not advance with a 3-2 score. and he was actually eliminated by Solar, who won this game to advance from the group. So basically, if SpeCial had not lost this game against Solar, he would have advanced into the playoffs, eliminating Solar, who actually eliminated Gumiho. So really, we don't know how the tournament could have gone if SpeCial simply did not commit these mistakes that he did this game. So really just unfortunate for him. And I do hope that at least some of us can learn from these mistakes, that you just really can't underestimate roaches like this. And yeah, it's just brutal. It's brutal to see, really. And my heart goes out to SpeCial. I'm pretty sure he knows about this, and probably he quite regrets some of the way that these games went, but that's the way competition goes. So Solar, with this one clutch map win versus SpeCial, actually ends up advancing over him into the playoffs. And really interesting to see how StarCraft works sometimes. So I do want to thank you everyone for watching. I hope you like these analysis videos. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And maybe if you want more, just let me know in the comments below. Have a good one. See you next time.